Whilst I was recording the previous video, one thing stood out in particular. It opened my eyes and some of you guys' eyes. I really need to learn how to drive without traction control. When I had it off, I span out, and when I had it on, I was losing time in the corners. These corners you can... Yeah, big mistake in my life. So in today's video, it's one thing simple. Let's learn how to drive without traction control. Come on! So what I'm going to do is I'm jumping back to the Red Bull ring, and I'm going to do a lap with traction control on, set a time, and that's going to be our benchmark to beat when we turn traction control off. I have jumped in the Porsche as it's probably for me the most balanced car and probably the best car to learn in. So let's see what our time can be with traction control off, traction control on, sorry, and see how long it's going to take us, how many laps it's going to take us with traction control off to beat that time. And if I do it pretty quickly, what I'll do is I'll jump to the Nürburgring for a bit of fun and see how long it takes for me to spin out in the Nürburgring. But that's only if I take ages in doing this. The turn 1 and turn 2 are probably the hardest one for me. It's probably the hardest ones to try and improve on that tempo. As you are going down to first gear, it is quite tight, the car's off balance. So it'll be turn 1 and 2 that's going to cause probably the most difficulty. But right now, in this video, going back to start really. If I want to progress back up to rank B and eventually into A and A+, I need to learn how to drive without traction control. And today is that day when we start. So we've got a 1:27.360. That's our target to beat. Let's turn traction control off and see what we can do. So 1:27 is the time to beat, 1:27.36. So let's turn traction control off and give ourselves 8 laps to beat it. I'm not going to drive at 100% just now, I'm not going to fully attack it. Let's just get used to it, try and be consistent. Consistency is the big thing that comes to racing. Speed obviously is a big factor. And I'm going slow and I still spin out. I don't think I'm quite realising how long this is going to take me to get used to it. Like I said, a 1:27.360 isn't a good time round here. And it's definitely doable to beat in 8 laps with no traction control off. With no traction control on, sorry. You make sure I'm hitting my brake points, not overdriving the car. Now don't be expecting massive, great, fantastic times here. I have not got the skill level for that. I must take myself back to the start, learn how to drive with a very beatable score for me. Obviously I know 1:27, like I said, isn't the best times, but for someone who's just starting out without traction control, who's used traction control the last year now, let's get it. If I beat the 1:27.360, what we'll do is we'll go to the Nürburgring, because it is the most challenging circuit, and see how long it takes until I spin out. as I cannot use this lap because that was track limits. I need to remain within track limits. I beat the time, just. The track limits was questionable and exceeded. That was just horrible, and I've almost lost it again. As much as speed is going to be the hard bit to try and get up and get used to these inputs, consistency is going to be the biggest one. And I will argue consistency is probably the worst bit I've got of my game. Come on. Turn 2 is where I'm losing all of my time, mostly. And this lap is no different. Come on! Beat the time. 1:26.735. Let's chuck it to the Nürburgring and see how long I can last until I spin out. Well, when I said Nürburgring, I meant specifically the Nordschleife. But there you go, traction control's off. How long until I spin out? Then obviously off camera, I'll be going back to the Red Bull ring and try to get a sub 25. I'm going to try and tackle this as hard as I possibly can. I know that wasn't the best first sector. I know what driving traction control is going to take absolute ages to not even master, but get used to it and be good and consistent with it. So I'm going to put a load of time behind the scenes. And get better. But with that crash and almost spinning out, please guys, if you did enjoy that video, just remember, smash that like button, hit subscribe, ding dong that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. But until the next one, see ya.